Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. Why did I think confessing my ongoing affair with my ex-boyfriend on our 5th wedding anniversary, framing it as radical honesty and expecting my husband to accept it, would end in anything other than disaster? I convinced myself that being transparent about sleeping with Julian for the past 2 years meant I was being authentic and brave, that my husband would appreciate my vulnerability instead of seeing it as betrayal. But when the process server found me at my own anniversary party in front of 50 guests, holding a champagne flute in Julian's hand, I realized my husband had spent months quietly building a legal case that would strip away everything I thought I controlled. The kitchen smelled like rosemary and garlic. I had spent 2 hours making Adrian's favorite meal: roasted chicken with potatoes, a salad with the dressing he liked, a chocolate cake from the bakery downtown. It was our 5th anniversary. I had decided this was the day I would tell him the truth. Adrian came home at 6 carrying yellow roses. He kissed me on the cheek and asked how my day was. I said it was good. He said the house smelled amazing. I thanked him. He put the flowers in a vase and sat down at the table. We ate dinner mostly in silence. The twins were already asleep. Finley had been exhausted from preschool, and Rowan had a cold. The house was quiet, except for the sound of forks on plates. I waited until we finished eating. Then I poured us both wine. I told Adrian we needed to talk about something important. He looked concerned. He asked if everything was okay. I said everything was fine, but I needed to tell him something. I said I'd been doing a lot of self-work lately. I said I had been reading about radical honesty and authentic living. I said I believed relationships should be built on complete transparency. He nodded slowly. He asked where this was going. I took a breath. I said I had been seeing Julian again. Adrian stopped moving. He asked what I meant by seeing. I said we had been intimate. He asked when this started. I said about 2 years ago. His face went completely white. He put down his wine glass carefully. He asked if I was ending it. I said I did not know. He asked why I was telling him this. I said because I believed in honesty. I said I did not want to live a lie anymore. Adrian stood up. The chair scraped against the floor. He asked if I understood what I was saying. I said I understood perfectly. He asked if I realized. I just told him I had been cheating on him for 2 years. I said cheating was a judgmental word. He stared at me. He asked what word I would use. I said I would say I had been exploring a connection that fulfilled something I was missing. He asked what I was missing. I said emotional depth. I said passion. I said Adrian had become distant and unavailable. He asked when he became distant. I said over the past few years. He said he had been working extra hours to save for the twins' education. I said that proved my point. He picked up the flowers he had brought. He looked at them. Then he dropped them in the trash. He said he could not believe this was happening. I said, I knew it was a lot to process. He said it was not a lot to process. It was a betrayal. I told him betrayal was a strong word. He said it was the correct word. I said I was being honest with him. He said honesty 2 years late was not honesty. It was cruelty. I said he was being dramatic. He walked out of the kitchen. I heard him go upstairs. I heard the bedroom door close. I sat at the table alone. I felt relieved. I had told the truth. I had been authentic. I thought he would need time, but eventually he would see that I was being brave. I cleaned up the dishes. I wrapped the leftover cake. I went upstairs. Adrian was lying in bed staring at the ceiling. I asked if we could talk. He said there was nothing to talk about. I said we needed to process this together. He said there was no together anymore. I got into bed on my side. I tried to touch his hand. He pulled away. I asked if he was going to stay mad forever. He said he did not know how he felt. I said I understood this was difficult. He said difficult did not begin to cover it. We lay in silence for a long time. Then he asked how many times I saw Julian. I said I did not keep count. He asked if Julian knew about him. I said yes. He asked if Julian knew about the twins. I said yes. He asked if I took the twins around Julian. I said occasionally. Adrian sat up. He asked if I understood how dangerous that was. I asked what he meant. He said, I was introducing a stranger into our children's lives without his knowledge or consent. I said Julian was not a stranger. He said Julian was a stranger to him and to Finley and Rowan. He asked if this was why I started so many fights over the past 2 years. I asked what he meant. He said I had been picking fights about small things, about him working late, about him not being spontaneous enough, about him not understanding me. He asked if I was creating conflict to justify the affair. I told him he was deflecting. He asked how he was deflecting. I said he was trying to make this about my behavior instead of examining why I felt the need to seek connection elsewhere. He said I felt the need because I chose to. I said it was more complicated than that. He said it was exactly that simple. His phone lit up on the nightstand. I saw a notification. It said, West Plaza, 4:45 p.m. Tuesday. He picked it up immediately and dismissed it. I asked what that was. He said it was a work meeting. I said it was marked personal. He said he had things to handle now. I asked what things. He did not answer. I asked if he was planning something. He said he was planning to protect himself. I asked from what. He said from whatever came next. I asked what came next. He said that was up to me. I said I wanted to work through this. He said I should have thought about that before I destroyed us. He turned off his light and faced away from me. I lay in the dark and thought about how I expected this to go. I thought he would be hurt, but eventually grateful that I was honest. I thought we could talk about opening our relationship. I thought he would understand that I needed more than he could give. I did not think about the fact that I had been lying to him for 2 years. I did not think about the fact that I chose our anniversary to detonate our marriage. I did not think about the twins. I just thought about how Adrian was not reacting the way I wanted him to. That was my first mistake, thinking this was about what I wanted. The next morning, Adrian left for work before I woke up. I found a note on the kitchen counter. It said he was staying at his mother's for a few days. It said he needed space. It said Finley and Rowan should stay with me, but he would pick them up after work. I felt a spike of panic. I called him. He did not answer. I texted him. He replied that he would talk to me when he was ready. I got the twins ready for preschool. Finley asked where Daddy was. I said Daddy had to leave early for work. Rowan asked when Daddy was coming home. I said soon. Finley said Daddy's eyes looked red last night. I said Daddy was just tired. After I dropped them off, I went to the office. I needed to talk to someone. I needed someone to tell me I was not a terrible person. I texted Neve and asked if she had time for coffee. She said yes. Neve and I had been friends since college. She taught yoga and believed in mindfulness and authentic living. She would understand. She would see that I was being brave. We met in the break room at my office. I told her Adrian and I had a difficult conversation last night. She asked what about. I said I told him I had been seeing Julian. Her eyes went wide. She asked if I was leaving Adrian. I said no. She asked why I told him then. I said, because I believe in radical honesty. She tilted her head. She said that was very brave. I felt validated. I said Adrian reacted poorly. She asked how. I said he was angry. She said that sounded like a normal reaction. I said normal did not mean evolved. She said she supposed that was true. I told her Adrian had been emotionally distant for years. I said I felt alone in our marriage. I said Julian understood me in ways Adrian never could. Neve asked how long the affair had been going on. I said about 2 years. She looked uncomfortable. She asked if Adrian knew it had been that long. I said yes. She said that was a long time to keep a secret. I said, That was why I told him. She asked if I planned to keep seeing Julian. I said I did not know. She said it sounded like I was asking Adrian to accept an open relationship. I said I had not used those words, but yes, essentially. She said that was a lot to ask. I said people do it all the time. She asked if I thought Adrian would agree. I said I did not know. She said most people would not agree to that. I said most people were not evolved enough. She looked at me strangely. She said she had to get to a class. She hugged me and said she was there if I needed her. I went back to my desk. I felt less validated than I hoped. I checked my phone. Julian had texted asking if I told Adrian. I said yes. He asked how Adrian reacted. I said not well. Julian said he was sorry. I said it was not his fault. He said he felt like it was partly his fault. I said it was my choice. Julian asked if I wanted to meet later. I said I could not tonight because I had the twins. He said, what about Saturday? I said Saturday could work. He said he would text me. Saturday morning, I took Finley and Rowan to the park. They loved the playground. I sat on a bench and watched them on the swings. Julian texted, asking if I was still free. I said I was at the park. He said he could meet me there. I hesitated. Then I said, okay. Julian arrived 20 minutes later. He hugged me. Finley looked over and asked who that was. I said it was Mommy's friend. Julian sat next to me on the bench. He asked how I was holding up. I said it was hard. He said he was there for me. We talked while the twins played. A woman walked past with a dog. I recognized her. Her name was Lauren. She lived 3 houses down from us. She knew Adrian well. He helped her husband with home repairs sometimes. Lauren saw me. She saw Julian. She saw his arm on the back of the bench behind me. Her face registered surprise. She waved. I waved back. She kept walking. I felt a twist in my stomach. But I told myself it did not matter. I was allowed to have friends. Julian left before the twins came back to the bench. I took them home. Adrian was there. He was picking up more clothes. I asked how he was. He said he was managing. I asked when he was coming home. He said he did not know. He asked if I saw Julian today. I felt my stomach drop. I asked how he knew. He said Lauren texted him. He said she saw me at the park with a man. He said she took a photo. I said it was just coffee. He said it looked like more than coffee. He said he could not believe I was still seeing Julian. I said I needed support right now. He said support was not the same as continuing an affair. I said we were just friends. He said I was lying. I said I was not. He said he could not do this anymore. He took his bag and left. I stood in the kitchen. I felt angry. I felt like everyone was ganging up on me. I felt like no one understood. I went upstairs. Adrian's laptop was on the desk in the guest room. I opened it. There was a spreadsheet open. The columns were labeled date, time, notes. I saw my name. I saw Julian's name. I saw dates going back weeks. I heard footsteps on the stairs. I closed the laptop quickly. Adrian appeared in the doorway. He asked what I was doing. I said I was looking for my phone charger. He said my phone charger was not in his laptop. I said I thought it might be on the desk. He said it was not. He picked up the laptop. He asked if I opened it. I said no. He said he did not believe me. I said I did not care what he believed. He said that was becoming clear. He left with the laptop. I sat on the edge of the guest bed. I thought about the spreadsheet. I thought about the dates. I thought about what Adrian was doing. I told myself he was just trying to scare me. I told myself he would not actually do anything. I was wrong. Friday night, Neve invited me to drinks with some friends. She said it was at a rooftop bar downtown. She said I should come. She said it would be good for me to get out. I agreed. I asked if I could bring someone. She assumed I meant Adrian. I said I meant Julian. There was a pause. She asked if I was sure that was a good idea. I said I was done hiding. She said, okay. I picked up Julian at his apartment. He asked if I was sure about this. I said yes. He said people might talk. I said let them talk. He said, "Okay." The bar was crowded. Neve was there with 6 other people from our yoga community. I introduced Julian as my friend. Neve gave me a look but did not say anything. We got drinks and joined the group. Julian was charming. He told stories about his music. People laughed. I felt proud to be with him. I felt seen. Halfway through the night, someone suggested a group photo. We all gathered near the railing. Julian put his arm around me. I leaned into him. Neve took the photo. She posted it to Instagram immediately. She tagged everyone, including me. I did not think about who might see it. I did not think about Adrian's family. I did not think at all. An hour later, my phone started buzzing. It was Adrian's mother, Miriam. I did not answer. She called again. I silenced my phone. Julian asked if everything was okay. I said yes. Sunday afternoon, Julian asked if I wanted to go for a walk. I said yes. We drove to the riverside embankment. It was quiet and sunny. We walked along the path. He held my hand. I felt happy. I felt free. We stopped near the water. He kissed me. I kissed him back. I did not see the man in the car across the parking area. I did not see him taking photos with his phone. It was Adrian's brother Simon. Simon had been following me. Adrian asked him to document where I went and who I saw. Simon felt terrible about it. But he was more loyal to his brother than to me. He took 12 photos. He sent them all to Adrian. That evening I came home. Adrian was in the garage. I heard the printer running. I walked in. He was gathering papers. He put them quickly into a folder. The folder was labeled Evidence. I asked what he was printing. He said documentation. I asked of what? He said of everything. I asked if he was spying on me. He said he was protecting himself. I said this was insane. He said insane was confessing to a 2-year affair and then continuing it publicly. I said I was not doing anything wrong. He said I was doing everything wrong. I asked if he had me followed. He did not answer. I asked again. He said he was gathering information. I asked what kind of information. He said the kind that would matter in court. I felt cold. I asked if he was planning to divorce me. He said he was planning to do what was necessary. He walked past me with the folder. He put it in his car. He drove away. I stood in the garage alone. The printer was still warm. I thought about the photos Simon must have taken. I thought about the group photo from the bar. I thought about how stupid I had been. I went inside and looked at Instagram. The photo from Friday was public. It had 60 likes. It had 12 comments. Most were positive, but one was from Miriam. It said, "This is disgraceful." I deleted the comment. Then I deleted the post, but it was too late. Screenshots lived forever. Adrian had the evidence. Simon had the photos. Miriam had seen everything. I sat on the couch and tried to think. I tried to figure out how to explain this. I tried to figure out how to make myself look better, but there was no way to spin this. I had been caught. I had been documented. I had done this to myself. I thought about calling Adrian. I thought about begging him to stop whatever he was planning. But I knew it would not work. I had lost him. I had lost his trust. I had lost everything. I did not know yet just how much I was about to lose. Saturday evening, Miriam invited both families to dinner. She said it was important. She said everyone needed to be there. I did not want to go. Adrian said the twins needed to see their grandparents. I agreed to go. The restaurant had a private room in the back. When we arrived, everyone was already seated. Miriam and Adrian's father, Simon and his wife, my father Graham, my sister Petra, 12 people total. The tension was immediate. Finley sensed it. He asked why everyone looked so serious. I said they were just tired. Rowan climbed into Adrian's lap. Adrian held him close. We ordered food. Small talk was strained. Then Miriam cleared her throat. She said she needed to address something. She said she saw photos online of me with another man. She asked if I wanted to explain. I said I was allowed to have friends. She said it did not look like friendship. I said appearances could be deceiving. She asked if I was having an affair. I said that was a strong word. She asked what word I would use. I did not answer. Adrian spoke. He said I told him on our anniversary that I had been having an affair for 2 years. The table went completely silent. Graham's face went red. Petra put down her fork. Miriam closed her eyes. Graham asked if it was true. I said it was more complicated than Adrian was making it sound. Petra asked how it was complicated. I said I needed something Adrian was not providing. Miriam said that was not a justification for betrayal. I said betrayal was a judgmental term. Simon spoke for the first time. He said he followed me last Sunday. He said he saw me kissing another man by the river. He said he took photos. He said he gave them to Adrian. I felt my face go hot. I asked how he could do that. He said Adrian was his brother. I said I thought we were family. He said I stopped being family when I cheated on Adrian. Graham asked who the man was. I said his name was Julian. Graham asked if it was Julian Cross from high school. I said yes. Graham said he remembered Julian. He said Julian was trouble back then. I said people change. Graham said apparently I changed too. Petra said she could not believe I did this. She said Adrian was a good husband. She said I had 2 beautiful children. She said I threw it all away for what? I said she did not understand. She said I was right. She did not understand. Finley started crying. He said everyone was being too loud. Rowan buried his face in Adrian's shoulder. Miriam said this was not appropriate in front of the children. I agreed. I picked up Finley and said we were leaving. Adrian said the twins were staying. I said they were my children. He said they were his children too. Graham said I should let Adrian take them home. I looked at my father. He would not meet my eyes. I put Finley down. I walked out alone. I drove home. The house was empty. I sat in the kitchen where this all started. I thought about the anniversary dinner. I thought about how I expected Adrian to react. I thought about how wrong I was. 2 hours later, Adrian came home. He went straight to the garage. I followed him. He was packing boxes. Boxes labeled clothes, files, personal. I asked what he was doing. He said he was moving his things to Simon's. I asked for how long. He said he did not know. I asked if this was really happening. He said yes. I asked if there was anything I could do. He said I could have not cheated on him for 2 years. I said I thought being honest would help. He said being honest would have been divorcing him before I slept with Julian. His phone rang. The caller ID said private. He stepped outside the garage to answer. I moved closer to the door. I heard him say, yes, I have the photographs. I heard him say, yes, I have the timeline. I heard him say, thank you for your help. He came back inside. I demanded to know who he was talking to. He said it was none of my business. I said everything he did was my business. He said that stopped being true the day I chose Julian. I asked if he was seeing a lawyer. He did not answer. I asked again. He said I should assume he was doing everything necessary. He loaded the boxes into his car. I stood in the driveway and watched. He got in the driver's seat. He looked at me through the windshield. His face was cold. He drove away. I went inside. I called Neve. She did not answer. I called Petra. She sent me to voicemail. I called my father. He answered. He said he was disappointed in me. I said everyone was disappointed in me. He said I earned it. He hung up. I sat on the couch in the dark. I thought about how everything was falling apart. I thought about how this was not what I wanted. I thought about how maybe I should not have told Adrian. Maybe I should have kept lying. Maybe honesty was not always the best policy. But it was too late now. The truth was out. The evidence was gathered. Adrian was gone. And I was alone with the consequences of my choices. Wednesday afternoon, I went to the supermarket. I needed groceries. I was in the checkout line when someone said my name. I turned. It was my father. He looked tired. He asked if we could talk. I said I was busy. He said it would only take a minute. We stepped outside. He said he talked to Adrian. I felt my chest tighten. I asked what Adrian told him. He said Adrian gave him a very detailed account of the past 2 years. I said Adrian was making me sound worse than I was. He said he did not think that was possible. He asked if it was true I had been having an affair for 2 years. I said the timeline was not the point. He asked what the point was. I said the point was, I was unhappy. He said being unhappy did not justify lying and cheating. I said he did not understand. He said I was right. He did not understand. He said he was a police officer for 30 years. He said he interviewed thousands of people. He said he knew when someone was lying. I asked if he thought I was lying. He said I was lying to myself. I asked what that meant. He said it meant I was pretending this was about Adrian when it was really about me. He said I was selfish. He said I always had been. I felt tears start. I said that was cruel. He said it was true. He said he loved me, but he did not like what I had become. I asked what I had become. He said someone who hurt people and then blamed them for being hurt. He walked to his car. I called after him. He did not turn around. I stood in the parking lot and cried. A woman walked past and stared. I got in my car and drove home. That night, Adrian came by to pick up more things. The twins were with Miriam. I was alone. He was on the stairs when I stopped him. I asked how long he planned to stay away. He said indefinitely. I asked if there was any way to fix this. He said no. I asked if he remembered why he married me. He said he remembered marrying someone who did not exist anymore. I asked what that meant. He said it meant the woman he married would never have done this. I said people change. He said I destroyed us. I asked if he still loved me. He said he did not know. I asked if he ever forgave me. He said forgiveness required remorse, and I had shown none. I said I was remorseful. He said I was still seeing Julian. I said I stopped. He asked when. I said last week. He said that was after I got caught. He said that was not remorse. That was damage control. His phone buzzed. He looked at the notification. It said documents ready for pickup. He dismissed it quickly. I asked what documents. He said it did not concern me yet. I asked when it would concern me. He said very soon. He told me I should prepare myself. I asked for what? He said for the consequences. I said I already lost him. He asked if I thought that was the only consequence. I asked what else there was. He said I would find out. He said he was handling everything through proper legal channels. I asked what that meant. He said it meant I should get a lawyer. I asked if he was serious. He said he had never been more serious. I asked if he was really going to destroy our family over this. He said I already destroyed our family. He was just making it official. He walked down the stairs. He got in his car. He drove away. I sat on the stairwell and thought about what was coming. I thought about the documents. I thought about the lawyer. I thought about how badly I had miscalculated everything. I thought about the anniversary confession. I thought about how I believed honesty would set me free. Instead, it set everything on fire, and I was about to burn. 4 weeks after Adrian moved out, we still had not cancelled the anniversary party. It had been planned for months. The invitations had been sent. The venue was paid for. Adrian said we should cancel. I said we should go through with it. I said we could show people we were mature adults. He said I had not shown maturity in years, but he agreed to come. I invited Julian as my date. I thought it would show everyone I was not ashamed. I thought it would show I was living authentically. I did not understand yet that authenticity without accountability was just cruelty. The party was Saturday evening at the community centre. 50 people were invited, both families, friends from work, neighbours, people from the twins' preschool. It was going to be a celebration. It became a public execution. I arrived at 7 with Julian. People stared. Neve was there. She hugged me, but it felt stiff. My father was there with Petra. Neither of them spoke to me. Miriam was there with the twins. She glared at me across the room. The room was decorated with white and gold. There was a bar. There was a DJ. There were tables with flowers. Everything I had planned months ago when I thought we were happy. At 8, I made a toast. I stood in front of everyone. I thanked them for coming. I said the past few months had been challenging. I said I believed in living authentically. I said I would not apologize for being honest about my needs. Some people clapped. Most did not. The DJ started playing music. People danced. Julian stayed close to me. I drank champagne. I tried to enjoy myself. I tried to pretend everything was fine. Adrian arrived at 8:30. He was calm. He was wearing a suit. Simon was with him. They walked to the edge of the room and stood near the door. Adrian looked at me. His face was unreadable. A man in a grey suit entered. He looked around the room. He walked directly toward me. He asked if I was Eloin Ashcroft. I said yes. He handed me a large envelope. He said I had been served. The music stopped. Everyone turned to look. I opened the envelope with shaking hands. The first page said, "Petition for dissolution of marriage with emergency motions." I read the words, but they did not make sense at first. Then they did. I flipped through the pages. There were exhibits. Exhibit A was the photo from the rooftop bar. Julian's arm around me. Exhibit B was photos from the riverside embankment. Us holding hands. Us kissing. Exhibit C was a screenshot of my Instagram post about living authentically. Exhibit D was a witness statement from Lauren the neighbor. She said she saw me at the park with Julian while the twins played. Exhibit E was Simon's testimony. He described following me. He described what he saw. Exhibit F was a timeline of the affair. It went back 2 years. It had dates, locations, details I thought were private. Exhibit G was text messages between me and Neve. Messages where I admitted the affair had been going on since before the twins were born. I felt sick. I kept reading. The petition said I had committed adultery. It said I had emotionally abandoned my marital duties. It said I had publicly humiliated my spouse. It said I had created an unstable environment for minor children. I read the emergency orders. Adrian was granted temporary primary custody of Finley and Rowan. I was granted supervised visitation twice per week for 2 hours each. Joint accounts were frozen. I could not take the twins out of the county. A second man approached. He handed me another envelope. He said this was a court order for paternity testing. He said both twins needed to be tested. He said the appointment was Monday morning at 9. He walked away. I looked up. 50 people were staring at me. Julian was backing toward the exit. My father was standing with Adrian. They were shaking hands. Miriam was holding Finley and Rowan. She was leading them toward the door. She was taking them per the custody order. Petra approached me. She said quietly that I did this to myself. Neve was near the bar. She would not look at me. Simon was watching from across the room. His face showed no emotion. The DJ started the next song. It was our wedding song. I had selected it months ago for the couple's dance. Adrian walked to his mother. He extended his hand. Miriam took it. They danced while I stood alone holding the papers. People started leaving. They walked past me without speaking. Graham walked past without looking at me. Neve left with her coat over her arm. The bartender started packing up. The motel ceiling had a water stain, shaped like a broken heart. I stared at it until the edges blurred, the way everything else had blurred since Julian's text. I cannot be part of this. Goodbye. 8 words, no emoji, no explanation. Just the soft click of the community center door behind him as he left me with the wreckage of what was supposed to be our vow renewal brunch. I rolled onto my side, the polyester bedspread scratching my cheek. The room smelled of industrial cleaner and someone else's cigarettes. My phone lay dark on the nightstand. I'd turned it face down after the 3rd unanswered call to Neve. The 4th had gone straight to voicemail, her recorded voice bright and merciless. "Hi, you've reached Neve Carter." I'd hung up before the beep. The papers were in a neat stack beside the ice bucket. I'd folded them once, then unfolded them, then folded them again, as if creases could erase the words. Emergency ex parte order. Temporary sole custody. Paternity affidavit. Adrian's signature at the bottom of every page, steady, deliberate, the same loops he used on the twins' permission slips. I traced one with my thumb and felt the indent of the pen, like braille for betrayal. I sat up. My dress, ivory silk, chosen because it made me look innocent, was wrinkled beyond salvation. The pearl buttons down the back had popped during the commotion. One still clung by a thread near my spine. I reached back, yanked it free, and let it fall to the carpet. It looked like a tiny moon. The mini-fridge hummed. Inside, 2 airplane bottles of gin, a half-melted Snickers, a postcard from the motel's grand opening in 1998. I took the gin, twisted the cap, and drank one in a single swallow. It burned less than the memory of Adrian's face when the process server stepped forward mid-toast. I opened the second bottle, then stopped. I set it down untouched. If I was going to claw my way out of this, I needed clarity, not oblivion. I opened my laptop. The Wi-Fi password was taped to the desk, Motel 6 guest. I logged in, opened a browser, and typed family law attorney near me. The first result had a photo of a woman with kind eyes and a steel grey bob. 24/7 crisis consultations. I clicked call now. It was 1:14 a.m. Law offices of Mara Ellison, a sleepy voice answered. I need to see someone tomorrow, I said. My voice sounded like gravel. I've been served emergency custody papers. My husband thinks the twins might not be his. There's a paternity test Monday. A pause. Can you be here at 8? Yes. Bring every document. Coffee's on us. I hung up, then opened a new email. Subject. Apology for when you're ready. I addressed it to Adrian but didn't type his name, just the cursor blinking. You were right to protect them. I see that now. I thought confession was courage. It was cowardice with better lighting. I'm getting help, real help. I'll do whatever the court asks. I just need you to know the twins are yours. They've always been yours. The test will prove it, and I'll never ask you to doubt again. I saved it as a draft. I'd send it after the results, not before. I opened another tab. Co-parenting apps. I downloaded one called Our Family Wizard, the one the courts liked. Set up an account with a new email, rowan.mom.recovery. I requested Adrian as co-parent, left the message blank, ball in his court. The motel notepad had a faded logo of a smiling sun. I tore off the top sheet, wrote in block letters. Monday, 8 honks a.m. Mara Ellison, 10 a.m. Paternity test, clinic on 5th. Buy 2 new toothbrushes, favorite cereals, spare clothes for twins, therapy intake form, print and fill. I underlined therapy twice. I opened the banking app. Joint account, locked. My personal checking, Hyundai 912, 43 town. Credit limit, $400 remaining. I transferred $500 to a new savings account, titled Twins College, 2040 bars. Set up auto transfer, $100 every payday. It wasn't restitution. It was a promise. I stood, paced the 4 steps to the bathroom. The mirror showed a woman with mascara rivers and wilted curls. I turned on the shower, let it run hot until steam fogged the glass. I stepped in fully dressed, watched the silk darken and cling. I peeled it off like old skin, let it pool at my feet. The water stung the raw places on my shoulders, where the dress had rubbed. I stayed until my fingertips pruned. Wrapped in a towel that smelled of bleach, I sat on the bed again. The room was quieter now. Even the ice machine had stopped its rhythmic clunk. I opened the nightstand drawer. Gideon Bible, phone book, a single AA coin someone had left behind. I turned the coin over in my palm. To thine own self be true. I slipped it into my wallet. I lay back, stared at the water stain. I whispered into the dark. I chose me every time. Now I choose them. Sleep didn't come, but exhaustion did, a heavy, dreamless drop into black. The alarm I'd set for 6:30 buzzed too soon. I dressed in yesterday's jeans and the least wrinkled blouse from my emergency go bag. I stopped at the front desk, asked for a weekly rate. The clerk, name tag Doris, didn't blink at the tear-stained face. We've got a room with a kitchenette opening Tuesday, quieter. I'll hold it. I thanked her, left a 20 on the counter for the gin I hadn't drunk. Outside, the sky was the colour of wet cement. I drove to the 24-hour Walmart, bought underwear, a hairbrush, a small stuffed narwhal for Sage, and a matching one for Orion. I wrote on the tags in Sharpie, "Love always, Mama." I tucked the narwhals into a gift bag with gold tissue, the same gold as the community centre decorations, now ironic. At 7:55, I pulled into the law office lot. Mara Ellison met me at the door herself, coffee in a real mug. She didn't offer pity, she offered a chair and a yellow legal pad. "Start at the beginning," she said, "leave nothing out." So I did. Every kiss with Julian, every lie to Adrian, every time I told myself, this is the last time. I cried only once, when I described Sage's giggle echoing in the community centre as the papers were handed over. Mara took notes without flinching. When I finished, she capped her pen. "Here's the plan. We don't deny. We don't deflect. We own. You'll submit to voluntary drug testing, enroll in individual therapy, and complete a high-conflict co-parenting class before the hearing. You'll propose a graduated visitation schedule, starting supervised, moving to unsupervised as you demonstrate stability. We'll stipulate to the paternity test. Fighting it looks guilty. When the results confirm Adrian's parentage, and they will, we petition for joint legal custody with a 50-50 residential plan." I nodded, throat raw. "One more thing," she said. "You'll write a letter to the twins. Age appropriate, no blame. You read it on video, supervised, at the first visit. The court loves accountability they can see." I swallowed. "When's the first visit?" "Wednesday, 4 p.m, public library, story room. Bring the narwhals." 3 days. Back in the car, I opened the co-parenting app. Adrian had accepted my request. His first message was time-stamped 3:07 a.m. Twins asked why Mama didn't come home after the party. I said you're staying with a friend who's helping you feel better. Sage wants to know if you'll still read The Velveteen Rabbit on video chat. Orion lost another tooth. Tooth fairy rate still $5. I typed back with shaking thumbs. Velveteen Rabbit tonight, 7 p.m. I'll pay the tooth fairy $10 to cover interest. Thank you for protecting their hearts. I hit send, then added, "Results will prove they're yours. I'll never make you doubt again." 3 dots appeared, vanished, appeared again. Finally, "See you Wednesday. Library, bring the book." I closed the app, started the car, and drove to the clinic to pre-register for Monday's test. The receptionist handed me a clipboard without meeting my eyes. I filled in the twins' names, birth dates, Adrian's name as alleged father. My pen hovered over relationship to child, then wrote mother in careful capitals. On the way out, I stopped at the park across the street. The bench where I'd sat last night was empty. I left the gold gift bag on it, narwhals peeking out, a note tucked inside. "For Sage and Orion. Mama's practicing being the grown-up you deserve. See you Wednesday." I walked away without looking back. The motel room felt different when I returned. I opened the curtains, let grey light spill across the carpet. I taped my Monday plan to the mirror, added Wednesday in red. Library, 4 p.m. Be early. Smile first. I opened my laptop, started the video for the twins. The narwhals sat on either side of me like bookends. "Hi, my brave explorers," I began, voice steady for the first time in weeks. Mama made a big mess, but messes can be cleaned. I'm learning how. I love you to the moon and back, even when I'm far away. Let's read about a bunny who became real. I read until the battery died. When I plugged the laptop in, a new email waited, from Mara. Subject: Supervised, visit approved. Wednesday, 4 p.m. I closed my eyes. 3 days to become the mother they needed. I whispered to the water-stained ceiling. I choose them. Every day, starting now. And for the first time since the champagne stopped flowing, I believed it. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next story. Write in the comments from which city you are watching.